Okay, what's up, everybody? So today is the end of the 90-day cycle. It's October 1st. I was supposed to also post a video. It's been a month since I posted. I should have posted 2 weeks ago, but we'll just couple them to today. And yeah, so I didn't hit the goal, which was like 10 paying customers at $20 a month or 2 at 100. So, and like we didn't get close. Like there, I guess my intent was to get enough volume at the front end of the funnel, which is just like problem discovery, but like basically establishing that I've spoken to a person so that I can come back, show them a demo. And like maybe I have like 4 or 5 people where that's true. I could like show these 4 or 5 people a demo. But I was like, I need more. And I said to myself, I need more because if the conversion rate from pitching a demo to selling it is like 50%, which is honestly like probably too high. And let's say I need 5 people on average, 5 sales on average. So that's like 10 pitches. To get like 10 pitches, I probably need like 20 customer conversations because some of them are like not going to be valid. To get 20 customer conversations, depending on the channel that people are coming from, like let's say like through the ads channel or something, to get like 20 conversations, like I'm gonna need this many leads and all this stuff. So anyway, so like point was like my 4 or 5 people was like not enough. I was like, I need more people at the front end of the funnel, establish a relationship so then I can pitch them later. So the attempts of like these past 4 weeks were supposed to be to do that, and like we're not 100% focused. I think the main reason is like there wasn't enough volume, and there wasn't enough volume because like the focus, it's an execution problem. I think strategy is fine. But so like in the last video a month ago, like I had this shitty execution problem where I wasn't working that much, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna set up these forfeits where I have to work 10 hours a day every day. And like that's actually been working, and I've been doing them. The thing is like sometimes there's like a thing you need to do, and like you know that this is the number one thing that you should get done today, and it's just like kind of painful, you don't want to do it. And like I'm doing other stuff that is still work, that is still qualifying, like I can still submit evidence for my 10 hours that day, but it's not the thing that I want to be doing, so it's like inefficient, basically. It's unfocused. And so like yeah, so at the end of 90 days, you're supposed to pivot something drastically. And again, like, so strategy, I think is fine. There's just not enough volume of it. So I think, again, it has to be a pivot of execution. There's like a strategic pivot I'm going to talk about in a second though. So the 10-hour thing is good. I'm going to keep that, like, definitely my work output has increased, but it's just not as focused. And so what I'm going to do is like, I'm going to make another forfeit where every day I have to show, like for this forfeit, every day I have to show evidence that I created a forfeit where in the morning or maybe the night before, I specify what I'm going to deliver at the end of the day. And then at the end of the day, I actually show evidence of whatever that deliverable was. So that ensures that I'm putting in the leading measure thing, which is the 10 hours, and also like not like a very lagging measure like revenue or whatever, which is like too many unknowns to like predict that, but something that is more direct, like a more directly actionable lagging measure, which is like the deliverable. And there's one thing I'll say here. So like sometimes like you say like I want to get this done by the end of the day, but it might end up taking longer because of unknowns. But what you should do is like get a full suboptimal loop in, like get to deliverable produced as quickly as possible, even if it's like a shitty job. And then once you've done that, then you come back and then you fix it. And you avoid premature optimization that way. So like one example was like, I was gonna make like this landing page, and then like on this landing page is going to be like this value video where I like talk about whatever stuff for however many minutes, and then where like basically I give you all this value stuff you can do, and then like to make it way better, you use the software that I've quote unquote built, and then the call to action was like book a call with me, and then we'll get you set up with the software. because it's like customized to the person or whatever. Anyway, so I was like, okay, I need to like produce like a really good video, and like I was gonna like figure out all the stuff and whatever, like go through the literature, like scope, like plan it out, like actually deliver it, maybe get it edited, whatever. And then, I was like, I was talking to my friend, but yeah, it's good to have like someone to keep you in check, I guess. But like fuck all that, like get a complete suboptimal loop in, like just pick up your phone, just start recording, and then post that, and then like do the full loop, like create the ads, make the landing page, put this terrible video on there that like is probably not going to convert anyone, but put it on there, just like the first video you recorded, just like you thinking about it, put it on there, drive the traffic, like make the landing page, put the video on there, drive the traffic, have the Google Calendar ready, and then just full loop in, and then that's the deliverable. You made the deliverable, great. Now you go optimize. And you want to do it that way because like you always, like this lean manufacturing, lean startup ideas, like you want to get full loops in because you get quicker to like the output that you want to do. Second, like you might be premature optimizing something that like for example, like the quality of the video, you might be premature optimizing something that even isn't the bottleneck in the system. And like I actually figured this out because I did do that, the thing I just said, where I drove the traffic, whatever, made the shitty video. Funny thing is, people aren't even pressing play on the video, right? Right? So, like, it didn't even matter how good the video. And, like, that was an unknown that I would not have thought about, right? And so, like, that's a part of the funnel that has to be fixed now, right? And so, like, you might be spending too much time on the wrong thing, and you don't know that because you didn't get a full loop in. So anyway, so full loops are good so that you uncover the unknown unknowns, figure out where which is equivalent to saying figuring out where the true bottlenecks of the system are. You get faster to value delivery. There's also, you could just spend too much time at a local maxima, like the premature optimization on a single step, like might just like, you get like scope creep on this thing, right? Which has happened to me a million times. And like, I'm about to talk about that in a sec. So you get a bunch of scope creep on one of these systems. So like you get a full loop in, get empirical data from the market, figure out what's actually wrong, and then you fix it. So like, if like people were pressing play on the video and then watching this for like a minute and then leaving because it sucked, or they watched the thing and then they don't book a call, then maybe it's because the video sucks. And I have proof in hand that the video sucks. Now I go fix the video, right? Rather than thinking ahead of time, like, oh, the video's not gonna convert, I have to make a good video, whatever, let me go optimize that. And then you spend all this time and then you make it, and it didn't even end up being the problem, right? Because of the unknown unknowns. So getting full loops in are important. So back to the thing I was saying, so if I have this daily deliverable where I specify what I'm gonna deliver at the end of the day, with the focus of getting a full suboptimal loop in, I think that's gonna help a lot. Okay, so that's like one kind of, that's like the core pivot, I guess. It's to be honest though, it feels more like an iteration than a pivot. It's like an iteration on my execution. I was like wondering like what is a pivotal execution, and I was like, what if I just like hire like a startup coach, like something like that, or like, I don't know. But strategy wise, I think like there's no need to pivot in strategy because there just wasn't enough volume. In the 90-day cycle, I'll get to that point and be like, okay, there were assumptions that were flawed here. I need to like pivot within. So like, anyway, so you get another 90 days. I mean, these are arbitrary numbers though. I don't know. It doesn't feel right. But yeah, you still $10. I mean, 6 months should be enough to like sell someone something, right? Probably. Yeah, fair. So, especially if you're just demoing and not actually building. Okay, so I'm also going to, so there are some lessons here. I'm going to tell you what I did. So basically at like the start of the cycle, like I said, my plan was to create content. And like content is a slow game, like posting on YouTube and Instagram and growing a following, that's very slow, but you can just like make the content and package into ads and like force feed it to people. So you can accelerate it by paying, basically. And so that was the intent, to like fill up the funnel and then ascend those people up to like give them value, send them up to have a call with me so that I can start, so that I have like people to do whatever I want with, which is problem discovery or like showing them a demo, selling them a demo, all this stuff. Okay, so first I like made this like cold shower video. I'll link it. Let me write that down. But yeah, if you go to my, actually on the Instagram and the YouTube on Instagram it's ATN Self, on YouTube it's Autonomous Self. But I made this cold shower video, got it edited, like it's fucking cheesy as shit. But like I did that in a day, which is good. Like I'm glad that see, that was good. Like I did a full loop and like I was thinking to myself, like this could be so much better. Like there's so many more things that I want to do with this, but whatever, let's get a full loop in. And like it didn't even matter anyway. Like anyway, so okay, so after I made that and like released that, I was like, okay, sure, I could make more of these, like Atomic Habits, like just talk about like basically that whole book, like turn every chapter into like a section, like add value. But I was like, that actually is not the thing that matters right now. What matters right now is the core video. Like what is, like when they land on the landing page, like what is the core video that they're watching, which is like a true description of the execution problem, and then like a core explanation of how to solve it. And then discussion of what the hardware software solution would be to implement that solution, and then ascending them up right there. And then so that's the core video. I have to start there. Once I have that core video, then the ads that come into that video could just be simple text ads, like an image, whatever, cheesy, easy stuff. But if it's not converting, then I can like make the ads like different videos, like content videos that provide value, and then they're like get value from that. They watch the other video, maybe they send whatever. So anyway, so I was like, okay, let me do the core video. So I was like, okay, to figure out this core video, and like, here's the case of the premature optimization. I spent like 2 weeks or more figuring this out. So like figuring out, like what is the core thesis? And like, to be fair, like this is part of like part of building the demo. And like, I do actually have like a really good understanding of what the problem is and like what the solution should be. And I ended up writing it in this article, the central thesis, called The Central Thesis of Autonomous Self, which I'll also link. But basically getting there, I had written all this stuff prior, lots of GPT conversations. Just ignore that. Lots of GPT conversations, and like was synthesizing all this information. And then I was like, I also need to understand how the brain neurobiologically is working, like how the two different brain regions. So I like got this textbook, Principles, which one is it? Not Principles of Neuroscience, Cognitive Neuroscience, Biology of the Mind, Kuzunaga, something like that, 5th edition. So chapter 12 is like the decision making. So now I like understand neurobiologically how the brain is making decisions. And this is like all in this article that I just told you about. And so yeah, so I started reading through my old stuff, reading the textbook. There was like some inefficiency when I was reading and stuff like that. And then I started writing the article, like synthesizing everything. Like it's called the central thesis of AS. And yeah, I don't really want to describe it here. I'll link the video. So I wrote it in the article. You can read the article, and then I made another video, which I'm going to talk about, which you can also watch, which I'll link, which is another description of it. But yeah, this is going to be more like this channel is supposed to be more about like the actual strategy, startup strategy, and not about the product design and stuff. Anyway, so yeah, so I started writing the article, and then oh my god, like I want it to be perfect, and like so much fucking like premature optimization, like drilling everything down perfectly, and like outlining the shit of it, and like filling it in, and like rephrasing the words to me. Oh, it's so bad, and it's just like my problem is like I'm a goddamn perfectionist. It's so bad. Like perfectionism is the enemy of speed, and like for something like a startup, which is just nothing but unknown unknowns, like perfectionism, which is basically what you can predict, is like not going to matter. Like all the value is going to come from the unknowns, from the randomness and the volatility. And so you want to have more instances of randomness and volatility and like these unlimited upside asymmetries to exploit. And you can only get that from empiricism. And you get more of those by getting being speedy to empiricism, speedy to market. So it's just all the wrong things. And it's just like so hard for me because it's just like so hardwired, I guess, or something, I don't know. Or maybe like in school, like, you know, your whole life in school, like you do work in this like perfectionism domain, in this prediction domain, whereas the real world is like unknown unknowns in this, you iterate empirically, basically. Well, anyway, so yeah, so what I was supposed to do was just fucking write the article in like, you know, just one pass the article in less than an hour. And then whatever I was going to do with the article, like do with it, right? Actually, no, like if the intent was making the video, I should just like pull up my phone and make the video, right? And then optimize later, get the full loop in, right? Anyway, so I like made this whole article. And then once I wrote the article, I was like, okay, next thing is making the video. But this at least was good. I was like, okay, we should get full loops with this so far. So I like drove ads to the article. And like just on Facebook, like the Twitter ads, I was gonna do Twitter ads too, but it's just kind of fucked up. And like I posted on like Hacker News and Reddit and stuff, but like those things, like I don't know, the volumes are too low for it to really matter if you're just like doing a post, I think. So anyway, I also like made a banner on PL, like on Password Locker. There's a banner that says like the founders are building a new thing. Read about it here, and then it links to the article. And at the bottom, there's like a email drop-in. Like so the CTA of the article is like book a call with me. Like I basically explain the core reason for the execution problem, how you would solve it, and then I like talk about software that would solve it, and then I'm like, CTA, book a call with me, I'll show you the demo, and then we'll get you set up. And then, but I also put like a different email form for just saying if you'd rather wait for the public launch, just drop your email. And I think that was good. So like there maybe like 10 people and like I had this just for a few days on PL. So maybe like 10 people filled that out. And then one guy booked a call and I talked to him. And like when I asked him why he booked the call, he didn't actually read the article. He like kind of skimmed it. He just basically wanted to talk to me. Cause like, you know, I guess I've given him value from PL before. And so he just wanted to meet me. And like the design is clever and stuff. So, but yeah, but he's like definitely someone has the problem I can actually show a demo to and try to sell to. And like I gave him the demo of the product in words, and he's like, yeah, I'd pay like $100 per month for that. And like, you know, you can't believe that until you actually sell it. And then I was like, okay, if you would act like, will you give me the money right now as a pre-order? And he's like, you know, not really. And then I was like, okay, I'll come back to you with a demo, and then also, I think, and then I told him like I need a few people to pre-order to like build it. And he's like, how many do you need? And he's like, I'm like 10. And he's like, okay, if 9 other people do it, I'll give you the 100. Whatever. But that's fine. Point, like whether like those details don't really matter. Point is like there's a person I can show a demo to, and then like try to actually ask for the sale. And then if the sale doesn't happen, I can figure out why. So anyway. So I drove traffic to the article, like the Facebook ads, no one booked a call, no one dropped an email. Also, the article is like so long. I didn't have SmartLook implemented. I have it now. I've been checking it for a different ad set that I'm running. But yeah, people probably weren't even making it all the way down. Well, anyway, so yeah. So while that was going on, I was like, okay, now it's time to make the video. And then again, like I was procrastinating the video because I wanted to be perfect and all this stuff. And then like my buddy was like, bruh, just pull out your phone and just fucking record yourself just off the top of your head, just send it. And that was good advice. And that's when like I started really thinking about the full loop stuff. So I did. Also there's like this, around that time, there was this other insight that I had, which is that like, I've been like those 2 weeks when I was like writing figuring out the problem and like writing the article and all this stuff, Like I was trying to like really solve the whole thing in my mind. But like the solution to that execution problem is not going to come from like armchair thinking alone. It's going to come from iteration with customers. Like basically all I really need is a test bed of experimentation. I just need like customers, like a test bed of experimentation where there's just a bunch of customers. I'm running A/B tests based on like stuff that I've observed from like customer usage, from books that I've read, from studies, from like neurobiology stuff, like just stuff that like comes over time. And I run these A/B tests and see if they're like inching closer and closer to 100%, like 100% like habit execution, I guess. And so like the full solution to the execution problem is going to come from iteration with customers. It's not going to be there on day one. But to get that test bed, all I really need on day one is something that gets you like 30, 40, 50% of the way, like something that adds value to establish this test bed. And then once I have that test bed, then from empiricism and iteration, then I get to 100%. And so this was my original thesis like a long time ago, that you might like, and so what do you need? You just, in that case, just like take all the tactics from Atomic Habits and just implement them in hardware software. Like every chapter of that book, just turn into hardware software. And like that is like, there's already a known market for Atomic Habits, right? And then it is a known problem where like people like implement the tactics and like you still need motivation to fall off. And like this is another thing I talk about, the motivation environment thingamajig, also in the article. Oh, I should also show you there's also, also check my Instagram. There's like this image of like a motivation environment thing, whatever, it doesn't matter. What was I saying? Anyway, I don't know. So there's a no market for the Atomic Habit stuff. People have a problem like implementing it. So if I turn it into a hardware software, into like an actual system, like that's probably no market and people will probably upgrade. And like, maybe like that's not this, and like, maybe I don't personally believe that solution like solves the problem, but it doesn't matter. Like I just like a foot in the door, something that does add value, something that creates a test bed of customers, and then I can iterate from there to the full solution. And so like that insight, like I thought about on camera, so I'll post that at the end of this. Append vid. So I'll post that at the end of this, which was recorded maybe like a week ago or something. And this is, whatever. Okay, so that was like a thing. And like this is something I knew for a long time, but I kind of forgot it when I was trying to, whatever. Okay, so shortly after that, I made the full video. So that is, I'm going to link that too. So I drove traffic to that. So I made the video and I was like, okay, let me drive traffic to it, get a full loop in. So first, and then I'm going to link all those funnels. So I had watched this like Sam Ovens video. It was like his webinar for whatever, doesn't matter. Like he gives an example funnel. So just like add landing page, like some copy for email address to like watch the video that like solves the problem. And then next page is video and then link to book a call. You can look at this in the description. I have these examples there. And so I ran those ads. No one was like adding an email address even after like a lot of clicks. So I was like, okay, it's not even necessary. Let me just remove that. So then I made it part 2, which is just the video. And then now I'm knowing this from SmartLook. I'm like watching the screen recordings, which is really valuable. And like the bounce rate is like, it's like people are staying on it for just a few seconds. It's bad. And then for the video, like people are not starting the video. So like good thing I didn't optimize that step. Like I said, once people are watching it, then like you optimize it. And the ad is really good. It's that image. It's like a 7% CTR. which is really high, and like ends up being 10 cents per click because they reward you with cheaper ads if you have a good ad, evidenced by the CTR. But they're not taking the next step. And then like, yeah, so you like provide more value. I think all this stuff, like better copy and like better story and all this shit, like I think is dwarfed by just more value. So you just like as much value as you can, and then people ascend. Like, and if you make that your North Star, I think everything kind of solves itself. That's like the 2080 really, probably. Like not hook, story, offer, but just like hook and value, basically. Yeah, and then offer for more value. Anyway, so funny thing is, so remember like we started this whole thing a month ago saying I need to fill the first part of my funnel, right, with enough volume so that they make it through to the next steps so that I can finally sell people. And it took me a whole fucking month, basically, to like get to that point, which is so fucking terrible, so bad. Some of it has been the execution stuff, like not doing the daily deliverable. Another has been what to deliver on. So like I might have said like, yeah, this article is important, maybe it takes a few days, so like the deliverable for today is like this part of the article. Like that, I would have no problem with that. But that's wrong actually because of the suboptimal loop stuff. So the deliverable should always be for full suboptimal loops. But yeah, so point is, it took a whole month. I was basically premature optimizing on this like sub step of this like step. And it's really bad. And like at the end of it, after like this month, finally getting to the point where I'm driving traffic, like with the content creation, send you up the value ladder thing. After 400 clicks, like no one is like booking a call, and so like the conversion rate is not 1%. Maybe it's a 0.1% CR. So maybe I should wait for 1,000 clicks. In the meantime, like I can, and like SmartLook is actually not like recording all of them. So maybe some people are watching videos, but yeah. So yeah, maybe I can make a better video, and maybe that is like the first thing I do right now. Or maybe like change copy like on the page so that they read it, because like these people are coming from Instagram, maybe they're like busy somewhere, like they can't just watch a video right now. But now like I'm like in this multivariable space, like optimizing this funnel that's like not even the main funnel. It's bad. It's all bad. So anyway, but if you go with the value first approach, like I could make a bunch more videos, put them in all the ads. So like people are being retargeted with different videos, providing different value. Finally, they click. Maybe they don't watch the video or book a call, but then they watch other videos, they come back and they book the call. It's basically like the content strategy, but I'm like paying for it to happen. And the thing is, like, it just might take a lot more. It might be a lot worse. Might be a lot longer than I thought originally. Like my assumptions were really violated. I didn't think like 400 clicks would lead to no call. And like when you watch Sam Ovens thing, he's like 30% this was made in like, I don't know, 2010 or something, 2012 or who knows when. No. maybe 2017. I take that back. Probably like 2017 or something. But like, or I don't know, whatever. And so like landing page, like 30% are going to give you their email. Like 10% of those are going to book a call. So like of the 30% who watched the video, like 10% of the people who watched the video are going to book a call. And then of the call bookings, you'll sell this much and then whatever. And like he draws this out in this video. And maybe that used to be true. And like my fucking funnel looks identical. Like I just told Cursor, GPT-5, like here's an image, just make this landing page. Yeah, like the conversion rates are definitely worse. And like changing times and stuff, I think there's a lot more. I think I heard about this. There's like less trust now and stuff like that. So you really do just have to lead with value. And that's how you beat everyone. Like whoever is providing the most value up front is going to get those customers to ascend to the next step and stuff. So, and that's like, it's an arms race of value. Like that is an evergreen concept. So anyway, so point is, this content thing is going to take longer than I thought. It took me a whole fucking month to realize it, which is fucking horrible. So it's going to take longer than I want to like fill the leads to establish these conversations. And it's fine. If I need to do it for the volume, I need to do it. That's fine. But because it's going to take longer to do it this way, it might actually, and because the true goal is to get full loops in, it might actually be it might be faster to get to a conversation by doing this like cold one-on-one, like on the forums where the customer congregates, the one-on-one, provide value like immediately in a direct conversation, chat a bit, and then upgrade them to a call casually. That might be quicker to get to a phone call than this one-to-many cold approach, or this cold one-to-many approach. And I didn't think that would be true. I thought, like, I really did think, like, actually watching that Sam Ovens vid, I should probably link that too, where Sam, like, sort of talks about, like, he basically explains, Sam's first company, Consulting.com, was, like, basically helping consultants get leads and sell stuff. And, like, you could be, like, a consultant about, you know, fixing your marriage, or like porn addiction, or you know, being a fisherman, or I don't know, fucking who knows what. And like his funnel was basically run an ad targeting the person with the hook being like the problem that they have, and then get their email address, and in exchange show them a value video, like give some value, solves a problem. If they need more help, then ascend to a conversation. And then these are the conversion rates you expect to see. And I was like, fucking let's go. That's great. So I thought I was going to be filling up my calendar like right away, and it's not true. Conversion rate is like a million times worse. I mean, not a million times, but a lot worse. Actually, I don't know how much times worse. It could be a million times worse. I don't know. I know that it's definitely worse than 10 times worse. It's definitely worse than 30 times worse. No, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so yeah. So that was a pretty violated assumption there. And so I'm thinking now, like, it is going to be faster to do the one-on-one stuff. Fucking so bad that it took so long to learn that. But I do have, like, I did, like, kind of work on parts of the demo, basically, throughout that process, so it wasn't all wasted or anything. So, yeah. So I think I might do a bit of that and then come back to the content thing. But the biggest thing, the most important thing, is that this concept of getting to full loops as quickly as possible also applies to like trying to make the sale. So I have like, let's say these 4 people that I can go talk to. I can go like, hey, get on a call again. Let me show you a proper demo. I could say that to them and they would take the call. I should do that and like give like a true proper demo, like in Figma, or like, you know, have GPT like mock up all the stuff in Cursor or whatever. Like it doesn't have to be a clickable prototype, but like images are fine. Like I kind of like just a bunch of static stuff, and I like basically click through them or like order them in a way where you can see like how it works, and then try to like actually sell it. And so, and like that's the lean manufacturing, lean startup idea. Like you get to full loops as quickly as possible, and like the loop is not having a conversation. The loop is making the sale. That is the full loop. And if I have 4 people that I can try to make a sale to, I should make the demo and make the sale to them. And then only when I've done with all 4 people, whether the sale happened or not, then do you now go back to the first step and then bring more people in. So like if you have like, if the first step is like finding the customer, no, let me think. whatever, like in any funnel or in any system, if you have like X, let's say you have like 10 units in the first step, and then 1 unit made it to the second step, you should now focus your energy on making that second unit flow to the third step. And if it doesn't, then you go back to making units from the first step flow to the second. As soon as one does, then you take that unit, try to flow it to the next step. And like in like a factory line, you can think of that as yield. Like here, like yield, like that does happen. The yield is usually much higher, such that you don't really notice that. But like if the yield is shit, like a 10% CR or something, then that would happen, right? But as soon as you have a single unit flowing to the next step, do you then do the stuff necessary to get that unit to flow to the next step? Because you want to get to a full loop as quickly as possible because of the finding out where the true bottlenecks are, because like you simply want to get to the goal as quickly as possible, whether it's revenue or like actually like producing a unit to send to a customer. Like, you know, like in Subway, like Subway does a good job. Like I think they're told that they should get a customer all the way, like make the sandwich, ring them up, actually sell them until they get to the next guy. And like intuitively, you have a line of a bunch of people, you would think, okay, I'm gonna make you a sandwich. Okay, now while you're waiting, I'm gonna make you a sandwich. I'm batch processing, like it's gonna be more efficient. Maybe I'll make the third guy a sandwich. Now I'll come back to the first guy and then ascend him and then ascend him. The thing is, it takes longer for the first guy to get out the door, and then it takes longer for the second guy to get out the door. And so like when you optimize for one of the steps, by making that step more efficient, by doing this batch optimization, you slow down the whole step, the whole process necessarily. And so yeah, full loops are important. So now that I have these 4 people, like, and like I was like looking at my notes, because like whenever I have this note, this note called like startup thoughts over time, and like I date and then like put a thought about startup strategy, and like maybe every couple days I have like something new, and maybe I'll like post this one day. But one of them, like early on in June, like at the very beginning when I started, basically I was like, once I had a single person cross, I was like, wait, is it premature optimization to get more people before I funnel them along? And then I don't know what happened. So yeah, so I'm gonna make this 5 minute, I'm gonna make this like better video to throw it on there, just because like it's not gonna take me very long, even though it's not the best thing I should do right now. But the thing I should do right now is actually just make the demo so I can go back to these like 4 people and sell them. And then whether like if they all buy, if they none buy, if some buy, it doesn't matter. I'm going to have to now go back to trying to get a full loop as quickly as possible again. And because we just established the content thing is going to take longer, I'm probably going to go to the cold one-on-one on the forums, try to like deliver value to them, like unscalably, super inefficiently, whatever. And then try to send them to like making a demo. And then also like once I have a demo, like things change. Like there is a group of people where I know I can talk to, but I don't want to like, yeah. So like there are people that I can engage with the demo that I couldn't have before. Kind of. Yeah, that's not true though. That's not true. Anyway, so, but some things change with me having a demo. So I think it's right. And like, it's not like you lose, I don't know, like if you lose learning, because like if people say no, then you do like uncover stuff about the problem rather than trying to like premature optimize understanding of the problem. But then there's like this other thing that Steve Blank has talked about, where if you make the sale, if you like do this, like let's say you did actually take that to an extreme, once you found like a single person with a problem, now you make them a demo and then you try to sell them, and then they maybe buy it, and then you take another person and then you start over from the beginning, get a full loop. This guy's another problem, you go full loop. Now you have to like build this thing that has like a fucking million features, where like each feature is for a different person. And it's like the super bespoke thing. And so like that's also not really ideal. So I don't know how you balance that, to be honest. Like maybe you just need like 5 people. I don't know how you balance, but it still feels wrong. I don't know how to balance it, to be honest. So that's still an open question. But and whatever. Like, who cares about the goddamn fucking theory, bro? Just fucking do shit, just like from the empiricism and the iteration. Like, can you relax? Yeah. So yeah. So I'll make this video, but I'm gonna like go to like make a full demo now, and like re-engage these people, try to sell them on it. And then do the like full loops one-on-one. And like, how do you know when you should switch from like this inefficient, unscalable, maybe there's not enough customers, cold one-to-one approach to like the one-to-many that is going to take like a sunk cost, but then sunk cost where you're not getting any results, but then later you get a lot. And it's just from the traction roadmap where you have targets of like how many customers you need. And if this channel doesn't deliver, then you can't do it. And like, I was switching because the cold one-to-one was insufficient to deliver on the traction roadmap. So maybe it is still true that I do need to do the content thing, but the content thing should come secondary after getting full loops with my current people along the funnel who are at a step where I can push them to the next step, which is people who are ready to listen to a demo and I can try to sell them on the demo. So I'm going to do that first. I might go back to the one-on-one just to get some full loops in quicker. And then maybe after a few of those, I'm like, this really is too slow for the traction roadmap goals. It is worth spending the sunk cost of maybe you do in parallel, I don't know, but sunk cost of content to pipeline them up to conversations and selling demos and stuff. And it could even be that the one-on-one approach, like the total conversion rates might be better, that I make enough sales and get enough learning from those conversations that in the scalable funnel, the content funnel, I actually don't even need to ascend them to a conversation with me. I just ascend them to the video demo and then maybe they order from there. And so like, this is another one of those things where you want to get to full loops because there are unknown unknowns that you uncover, which is another way of saying you figure out where the true bottleneck is, and solve for it. And if I don't do it that way, I might be premature optimizing for this thing, like establishing conversations, which I didn't have to do at all anyway, because I already had the demo that would have sold them that I could just put on a landing page. Like the demo is on the landing page. And then they just like email, credit card, free trial, sign up, and then the waitlist page. So that's the pivot. That's the other pivot in strategy. So that's the second pivot, I would say. Like the full loop stuff, which I've known, but you forget. And it's like intuitive, whatever. So that's me. So I have another 90 days, which is bad. And you have all this urgency, like near the 90-day mark. You want to, and I guess like Eric Ries was talking about that whenever he would like have the investor meetings at the end of the quarter or however long they were, and then they would run all the data for the end of the quarter and then do the success leader, and like we learned, and he was like, and then that kept happening, and they're like, why do we just keep doing this? Why don't we just do this daily? Let's run these numbers daily. So in a similar vein, rather than having the deliverable be like this big deliverable be at the end of 90 days and then like it's too late by the time you're like getting close to it and get anxious about it, you just make it present every day. And like doing the daily deliverable thing, like this is the deliverable I have to prove, and there is a clear stake, like I'm going to be punished, I'm going to get charged money if I don't deliver this deliverable. Maybe you even maybe at the start of the sprint. Maybe at the start of the sprint, you can't do the lagging measure, but the leading measure that results in the lagging measure that you want, you make that a deliverable at the end of the 14 days. And then you just break that up into day by day. That has a problem because of the unknown unknowns. So maybe there's like flexibility, you're allowed to appeal. You like give evidence, like reasoning why, but like valid reasoning. I don't know, but anyway, we'll start with this daily deliverable stuff. So so main issue has been an execution. Strategy has been fine. Like I said, like I'll be pivoting the strategy as necessary when I'm executing through it. The execution is the problem. So the pivot, it's not really pivot, it feels like an iteration execution, but anyway, that's the point. I'll link the stuff. I'll like append that other video I was telling you about. Okay, bye. Yeah, I guess one really good thesis is just let's take Atomic Habits and turn it into software, which is my original thesis. Right? Like if you really think about all my problem execution alignment stuff and like whatever misalignment, whatever, and like design the environment, all that bullshit is just like problem restatement. It's like, yeah, we know that there's this execution problem. I really nailed what the problem is like fundamentally. But whatever, dude, like what really matters is the solution. Like what if the problem is like nebulous in my mind, but you give me a solution, that's what matters. Like I don't like it doesn't add that much value to me to like have the problem restated in a more precise way. Like, okay, sure, it might help you like find out what the solution is, but I still don't care. Like just tell me what the goddamn solution is and I'll do that. Like I don't have to think about any of the other stuff. Right? Like that's the thing that matters. And so like everything that I have, like solution wise, is basically just Atomic Habits plus like the AI coach. I'm looking at like my papers. That's basically it. And then like there's like maybe increase the salience with like the same oven stuff, but that's like basically the motivation ritual. So that's pretty much what it is. One thing at a time, yeah. So it's basically like I guess this is what the value, this is the video. It's like, let's take each of the Atomic Habits tactics. I'm gonna check that. I'm gonna check my GPT notes and stuff to make sure that there's nothing else missing. But the video can be like, as of right now, I'm just kind of saying like, you know, here, like you want to do the reward cost delta stuff, right? And then these are like things you can do for each of them. I mean, I guess I can like still describe that and then say like the way you do that is like with all of tactics of Atomic Habits. And like I'm just like reordering it. Yeah, I guess his ordering is like some stupid ordering, right? So I could like reorder it to this equation and then say, yeah, so like this Atomic Habit solution, the extrinsic, motivation ritual, the intrinsic, and then like decreasing cost, create exposure, 2-minute rules, neuromodulators. Okay, there's extra stuff there. Yeah, so it's basically like, let's take this equation and then let's just like apply everything we have to every single thing. And we just like go down the list of every single tactic. Like mastering decisive moments, right? Yeah, maybe I don't like, I don't know. Maybe I don't even talk about my own stuff when I like take his thing and describe it in software. But that, yeah, we should like decouple them first and then put them together after if we still feel the need. So first we talk about the reward cost, opportunity cost, reward cost delta stuff. And then we just like give every single tactic that we possibly can. And then maybe leave out some details so that they get on the call. I mean, actually we give the details. You have to understand that. You give the details, you give value, right? And then you say like, you need software to make this work. So now talk to me and I'll hook you up. If you want to do it without, fine. But you're gonna rely on motivation. Like environment, one-time environment, burst of motivation is better. Right, that just sets this up. One click, boom, done. So that can be in terms of the reward cost stuff. Lay out all my shit, no Atomic Habits, lay out all my shit, give every tactic, some are Atomic Habits, some are not, but I'm not expressing in those terms. Give all these like things, and then, what was the thing I said? Right, and then you give all the details. You talk about all this stuff, you give every single detail here, and then it's like, okay, in software you can modulate it, and then like there's some like you can include and not include, but there's like a default for you. And then there's like the patches, like, okay, the 30-second commit advice, but you got the AI thing. And then like the temporal, like the rewards are removed, but only around when the queue is going to happen. And then so like you can even mention like the onboarding, like on day one, like you specify your implementation. Yeah, because this is environment. You still need queues. So you still need queues. Queues plus that. So you still need queues. So you still specify the implementation intentions and the habit stacks and stuff, and then you like get pinged or whatever, and it's like, okay, do the activity. Now you've got the queue. Now you know where the rewards are and stuff. So yeah, so that's one video segment for sure. Let's just record it right now. Getting tired, but yeah. The other one is literally just AH as a service. So I'm like, we're Atomic Habits and like tried thing would fall off, whatever, like, we use this thing and personalization, change the environment, and like there's all these things in the words, but like you really need software hardware to like actually do it. Like all these things like you have to do like manually and then rely on motivation each time. Like you actually need to lock this in environmentally and stuff and do everything, like every single tactic. And like, maybe it doesn't get you 100%, but like improves product success. Like each one like adds a little improvement. Let's just like add everything. Dude, I mean, like, what is my issue anyway? Like, my goal is to solve the execution problem. I guess I don't really, right now, on day one, I don't need to have a solution that solves the problem entirely. Like, I don't have to have like a vivid imagery of like something that just solves it entirely, right? Like, that's going to come from the anti-fragility. From like experimenting with people navigating the space, from empiricism, not me ideating, right? Not me trying to figure it out first principles, and not me ideating potential solutions. That doesn't solve it. Actual empiricism. I just need a test bed of customers to experiment with to get to a full solution. I don't need that on day one. All I need on day one is just something that people will be like, yes, I'll try that. And let's just fucking, instead of like invent all this new shit, let's just piggyback on goddamn AH. So I think that's big. So I might just like reformulate everything to just be whatever. Fuck the sunk cost fallacy. So I'll just reformulate everything to be just like AH, I guess. So we'll make another video, and we'll start with this one. We'll just say like, let's just make AH, let's do everything. Like maybe it doesn't solve the problem, but like it's gonna help big time. And I'll fucking buy the domain and tell me how it's a service, whatever. I mean, I don't need to start with that. That's optimization, but. So, yeah, and I give you my onboarding. So the value in the video is like, so I give you the onboarding, like I tell you all the cues, I tell you all this stuff. And then I'm like, okay, let's just convert all of them in software. That is a demo. Do I have to do the thing where I give you value? So, well, always it's been, I'm giving you value, and then to really make it locked in, you use software. That's my lead magnet. Like, that's my value, and then my why you need extra help. Because that really is what it is. So like, yeah, if I'm picking you up from Atomic Habits, I can still give you value from Atomic Habits, I guess. The way I can phrase it is like, the Atomic Habits thing is this. In software, you could do, one way to do it is like, you could do this.
This is another thing that adds value. In software, you could do it like this and repeat it. Rather than give the whole list and then they get bored because they know everything and then you go through software, just go line by line. Yeah, the value is we're making Atomic Habits a locked in environment thing. The whole thing is a CD. Yeah, like everything I've been thinking about so far, the execution, all this stuff is just problem statement. No solution. Then when I started thinking about solution, I was like, yeah, reward cross delta, decouple the rewards. That's not the only thing. Like you can decouple rewards. You can also like increase cost of this thing. Like that's not the only thing. That's not the only way to this actually expanded my thought process. It generalized it more. When I thought of it in this way. Like it's not just increasing reward. You can also decrease cost. You can also decrease reward of the other thing, increase cost of the other thing. Like that adds more dimensions because that's the full equation. It's not just decreasing opportunity cost reward and then just shifting it over. Like that was a way to do it. And then you pick and choose the solutions. Whatever, I don't have to reinvent this stuff. I don't have to reinvent anything. Like I'm basically reinventing from first principles. We need to watch this tomorrow. But I'm basically reinventing from first principles what all the solutions should be. I don't have to. There's a fuck ton of tactics in here. Maybe it doesn't solve the problem all the way. If I get you 70% of the way, dude, that's fucking amazing. All I really need is people to sign up so I have a test bed of experimentation. That's the only thing I need. Yeah, I don't need to do jack shit. I don't need to do first principles of anything. That was my original thesis. What changed? What did change? I don't know. I didn't read the book. How was I thinking about the problem? I was just like, I guess I was like discovering stuff. I was asking GPT. I was like, what is the neurobiologicals thing here? So how do you solve it? Like that worked. Why did that work? That worked. Why did that work? What has to change? I was like, okay, don't I have to know like neurobiologically what's going on? And then I got the neurobiological understanding. I'm like, okay, this is actually so that gave me like the problem statement. This is what you need to optimize for. Dude, the space is so big. It's fucking awesome. What a multi-dimensional space. That's what you wanted. I sure as hell fucking got it. Okay, anyway. So yeah, I just need you to sign up. Like, I don't need to reinvent the wheel. I'll fucking build his thing, whatever. I'll just rebuild his fucking thing. So if he wants to buy from me, whatever, dude, you can have it. Well, I don't know about that, to be honest, but anyway. So let's do that. So what is the video? I'm gonna check my computer in a sec for all this stuff, but the video is like hook. Yeah, hook, like Tommy. I mean, I could still talk about execution, all this stuff. But like, yeah, I mean, I can just like deliver actual, like, you could say like, okay, you need the queue, you want to have it stack off the thing. You can have it stack it off the thing, and then you add rewards. Like these are specific rewards. Here's some actual value. And that can be one funnel. That can be a funnel. And then like you want the decisive moment. Like I'm basically just summarizing the book. So like okay, so you have it stacked. So how do you physically do that? I like give you a ping, or maybe you wear a camera. See, I don't want to go through the details here. Yeah, maybe we just like skip the Q stuff first, but like motivation ritual, so like you increase salience, so like when Q fires, like, yeah, I don't know how to like do it without. Yeah, I don't know how to frame this, but but the framing is like, here are all these tactics. You need to lock them in because otherwise, like, it doesn't work otherwise. So here are some ways that we've locked them in. And oh, dude, I just talk about some of them. I don't have to talk about Q and stuff. Like, there's enough curiosity in there. So like the temptation bubble, right? You use screen time blockers, whatever, you block everything else, it's coupled in the environment. When the queue is done, like when you no longer, then it like gets reintroduced back to the environment, right? Same with rewards. The intrinsic thing, like the 30-second rule, and then there's the AI patch. Like those are good. Those are really good ones. Like I can talk about reward recoupling or reward coupling. I can talk about decisive moment, 2-minute rule. Yeah. There's like a community of people that are in like solving these same habits. You have the AI coach. Why didn't I start this way? Because I started thinking about it from first principles. But you don't need to. What if no one signs up? I mean, it feels unlikely because I'm just taking something that already works. We already know that it works. I'm just like making it I'm just iterating on its, like just improving something that already works. So, dude, surely some people would sign up. I don't need to reinvent it from scratch, dude. Whatever. Like, just suck, like, fuck your ego. Like, who cares? The thing you need to be in love with is the problem. Solving the problem, not fucking, whatever. How you solve it or whatever. So, it's a good plan of action. So, it's going to be, all the hook stuff, and then, like, convert, here's some value, like, here's specific things you can do, like, here are actual rewards. The way you would actually do it is, like, you couple, and then, okay, you need to do side mode, okay, 2-minute rule, and then the CD, and then now this, and then that, and then that, and that. And then I can, like, tell you, like, here's some screens. Boom, dude, I can, like, actually give you free value. I can say, okay, now take the screen time blockers and block them all these other places, but then now you have to reactivate it here. So it's a little hard to do that. So like you can do this thing, whatever. So I built the software that just does it, like the picture thing. It like sees your screen and like recouples it. Yeah. And then like the 2-minute rule, like, okay, there's like, you can use these commitment devices like stick and stuff like be minor forfeit. Like you can specify you're gonna do something by a certain time, and if not, then don't, right? But this is all in one place, right? If you want an AI coach, you can like touch ChatGPT, like you give all the data, like everything you record, you like put in ChatGPT and tell it, I'm gonna give that to you. The community, you can go on Reddit, whatever your specific community, you go on Reddit, whatever, it's all in here. Yeah, I like it. Okay. So yeah, I mean, this is it, right? Right? Because you were, like, what were you gonna do? You're gonna talk about your article. Your article doesn't like talk anything about solution. There's no, it's zero solution centric. There's zero solution centric in the article. There's like inklings of solution. And then the whole point of this is to give value. You had no idea what the value is gonna be. The value is the actual stuff, which is this anyway. Most of it is just AH, or like that, which is in GPT, which is just another representation. So, yeah. I like it. There's nothing really you added. I probably don't even have to talk about execution alignment or anything. And I can still make all the ads, like all like those different video ads that add value, which is the original plan. But the difference is that we're completing the loop faster. We're just doing handheld boom video. And if it doesn't convert, then we fucking make them look better. Get full loops in. It's always new customers. Okay, that's the plan of action. I'm gonna check this, but I feel like there's gonna be not much different. So I like it. That's the action. That was the original thesis, dude. Maybe I should just reread that. Okay.